The rain started every afternoon at 4. By 4:15, the yellow Labrador was there, sitting on the porch across from the widow's house. Not begging, not whining, just sitting in the rain, watching her door. Inside, behind lace curtains that hadn't been opened in months, Eleanor saw him. She'd seen him for weeks now, same time, same spot. Soaked fur, patient eyes. She never opened the door. The dog never left until dark. The neighborhood had grown quiet over the years. Fewer children playing, fewer voices calling out greetings. No one noticed the old woman who stopped answering her phone. No one noticed the dog who waited in the rain, except each other. Eleanor was 71. Her husband died 2 years ago. Heart attack, no warning. The house still smelled like him, Old Spice and coffee. She couldn't wash his favorite chair cover. She'd stopped cooking real meals. Toast was fine, soup from a can. What was the point of setting the table for one? The phone rang less now. Her daughter called on Sundays. The conversations were short, polite, empty. "Mom, you should get out of the house." Eleanor would agree, never go. Friends from church had tried at first, casseroles on the doorstep, invitations to lunch, but Eleanor became skilled at polite refusals. Eventually, they stopped asking. She moved through the house like a ghost. Morning tea by the window, afternoon in front of the television, not watching, evening in the dim kitchen, staring at nothing. She'd stopped turning on lights, stopped watering the plants, stopped pretending tomorrow mattered. Her voice had become unfamiliar. Sometimes she'd say a word out loud just to remember what she sounded like. The silence pressed against her chest. She couldn't remember the last time she'd laughed. The Labrador had no collar, no tags, no home that anyone knew of. He'd appeared in the neighborhood about 6 months ago. Yellow coat matted and dull, ribs showing through. Someone said he'd been dumped at the edge of town. People left food out sometimes, water bowls on porches, but no one took him in. "Someone will," they said. "He's friendly enough." But weeks turned to months. He wandered during the mornings, checked garbage cans behind the diner, slept under the old oak tree at the park. But every afternoon at 4, he returned to the same spot, Eleanor's porch, across the street. He'd sit in the rain, the snow, the heat, just watching her door with deep brown eyes. The neighbors noticed. That dog's still hanging around the Matthews place. Someone should call animal control. But no one did. He wasn't aggressive, wasn't a nuisance, just there, waiting for something no one understood. His coat had lost its shine. A small scar above his left eye suggested a hard life before this. He moved carefully, like trust had been broken before. He never barked at Eleanor's house, never scratched at her door, just sat, watched, hoped. Like he knew she was in there, like he knew she was alone, too. It was a Thursday when Eleanor finally opened the door. Not all the way, just a crack. The dog was there, sitting in the drizzle. He looked up, ears perked, but didn't move. Eleanor stood in the doorway, hand gripping the frame. 10 feet of wet pavement between them. "You should go home," she said, her voice cracked from disuse. The dog's tail thumped once. When was the last time anything had responded to her voice? She stepped back inside, returned with an old towel, walked to the edge of her porch and set it down. "That's all," she said quietly. She went back inside, locked the door, pulled the curtain, but watched through the gap. The dog limped across the street and curled up on the towel, eyes still on her door. Eleanor's hand touched the window glass. Then she turned away. The next day, Eleanor left food, just leftover chicken and rice on the porch step. She didn't wait to watch, didn't want it to mean something, but the bowl was empty by evening. The day after, she left water too. It became routine, every morning at 8, food and fresh water. The dog would wait across the street until she went inside, then cross over to eat. 1 week, then 2. Eleanor started cooking a little extra, started talking through the door.
"It's supposed to rain again. You'd think you'd find somewhere better." The dog's ears would twitch at her voice. 3 weeks in, she opened the door while he was eating, stood watching. "You're too skinny," she said. His tail wagged slowly. It was the first real conversation she'd had in months. Week 4, it rained hard. Eleanor watched him shiver, soaked through. She paced. This wasn't her problem, but she opened the door. Just tonight, just until the storm passes. The dog limped up her steps and stopped at the threshold, waiting. Eleanor stepped aside. He walked in carefully and lay by the door. Eleanor dried him with shaking hands. "Just tonight," she whispered. But morning came. She didn't ask him to leave. He didn't try to go. Week 6, her daughter called. "Mom, you sound different. Better." Eleanor looked at the dog by her feet. "I've been talking more," she said. The dog slept in the hallway at first. Eleanor gave him an old blanket, kept her distance. But by the second week, he'd moved closer, by the kitchen where she made her tea. She named him Charlie. Didn't plan to, it just came out one morning. His tail thumped, and that was that. Eleanor started opening the curtains, let light fill rooms she'd kept dark for 2 years. She cooked real meals, eggs and toast, soup from scratch. Charlie sat nearby, watching. "Someone needs to make sure you eat," she'd say. But they both knew she was eating too. Her daughter noticed on Sunday. "You sound lighter, Mom." "I got a dog," Eleanor said. Silence. Then, "That's wonderful." Eleanor smiled. First real smile in years. Charlie followed her everywhere. Not clingy, just present. When she sat, he'd rest his head on her knee. She started talking, really talking, about her husband, the loneliness, the silence. Charlie never looked away. "You understand, don't you?" she whispered. His eyes said yes. They'd both been waiting in the cold. Now neither was alone. 3 months later, Eleanor's daughter visited. She stood in the doorway, staring. The curtains were open. Music played softly. Her mother was laughing, actually laughing, as Charlie nudged a ball across the floor. "Mom?" Eleanor looked up, eyes bright. "Come in. I want you to meet someone." Charlie walked over, tail wagging. Eleanor knelt down, wrapped her arms around him. "I saved him. Or maybe I saved him. I don't know anymore." Her daughter's eyes filled with tears. "You're back," she said softly. Eleanor nodded. "We both are."